This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program Countrywide, tonight we bring you an interview with Dilip Chenoy, CEO, National Skill Development Corporation. The interviewer is S.K Narayanan, Senior Journalist.
Welcome to the program, Mr. Dilip Chenoy. We are a young country. Questions are often raised, what do we do with a huge demographic dividend? And India often produces an army of underskilled, underemployable and undereducated people. How serious is this situation?
Challenge in India is that most of the young people, because of the lack of anything to do, they all chase getting a degree. So like you said, we have this large army of young boys and girls who have degrees but no jobs. At the same time, you have a lot of corporates and a lot of employers, both small and medium, who are looking for employed people. And when they go to the market, they don't find a match with the people that have been educated and trained to the job roles. So there's a mismatch between what people are learning in the world of education and what is required in the world of work. Now the consequence of this is when people can't get employed, then they start doing unproductive and unsocial activities. So if you see what is happening in large parts of the country, where the young people are taking to the streets or young people are going against the establishment. So it is a challenge of how to get all the people onto the constructive economic development of India. So the challenge is large. It has been said that by 2022, when India is 75, there will be around 700 to 800 million people in the working age group, out of which 200 million would be graduates. So what would the other 500 million or 50 crore people be? And that's how the target of skilling and upskilling 50 crore people by 2022 came about.
But is the target quite realistic?
If you look at India as a country, and if you look at India as a corporation, let's assume that we have close to 70 crore people who could work in the company. And currently we have around 47 crore people working. So it is not infeasible that within a period of 10 years, you won't even get each one of the people, 47 crore people, through one training program over 10 years. So I don't think the number is the issue. We should not debate the number. I think the challenge here is that the current capacity is to only train 50 lakhs or 60 lakh people every year. And if you want to do 50 crores, we have to take it to 500 lakhs or 600 lakhs a year. That's what the number. You're taking it to 5 crores a year. You have to take the training capacity in India to about 5 to 10 times in the next 1 to 2 years. And every year that we delay, we have to increase it by a factor going forward.
In that case, what has been delivered so far?
If you look at the last few years, there has been exponential growth. When the problem was first diagnosed, we said we can train 3.1 million or 30 lakh people in a year. Last year, the number went up to 50 lakh or 5 million. This year, the target is 8 lakh or 8 million. So we have to do it exponentially. You can't do it in a manner that happens overnight. So we have to go to a period of exponential growth and grow 2 or 3 times or 4 times every year if we have to reach our target going forward.
NSDC came in 2008. The National Skill Development Corporation was set up in 2008 and you took charge. You became CEO and the Managing Director in 2010. What has been the achievement so far?
So I think in very simply put, we had the Prime Minister's Council for Skill Development. In 2011 and 12, they put a target of NSDC training 1,25,000 people. So NSDC did 1,81,000 people. In 2012-13, the target was 4 lakh people. We crossed it to 4,02,500 plus people. This year, the target is 10 lakh. So we are on route to get to 10 lakh. And what is interesting is as we speak, since we have been formed in the 3 years that we started funding programs, we have crossed cumulative the 10 lakh number. And the next 10 lakh is going to happen in a period of 6 to 7 months. And the subsequent 10 lakh, if we continue to grow at the same speed, would be in 3 to 4 months. So we today have funded around 114 entrepreneurs to scale up, out of which about 62 are active on the ground. In the next few months, we hope that this number, all 100 will be active. By the end of the year, that is March 31st of this year, we should have approved 150 such organizations. One of the big things was that the sectors were not involved in the area of skill development. So we were mandated under the National Skills Policy to set up industry or employer-led sector skill councils. 28 such councils have been approved. 17 are very active, and we have actually done a lot of work on the ground in terms of mapping the skill gaps in the 20 sectors that we were mandated to do. and also other than Jammu and Kashmir, Chhattisgarh and Bihar, which the studies are being completed, we have completed a skill gap analysis at a district level for all the other districts in India. So as of date, there are over 2,200 fixed centers, 900 mobile centers covering around 357 districts of India, which are operated by the NSDC partners.
And that's quite an achievement, Mr. Chenoy.
It's been tough, but I think the partners deserve credit for it. The companies that have come forward, that have decided to go for creating shared value model rather than grant or a different model, which is very unique in the world. It is the first time that government anywhere in the world is trying an initiative where a different funding model is being followed in a country and creating a whole ecosystem that supports creating value in the skill systems, where the trainee joins a training program because he sees value in it, is willing to pay for it. The loan program, which has also been announced by the government, and the Credit Guarantee Fund has been set up for the Indian Banks Association for giving loans for vocational training. So the whole ecosystem is actually being created to support this.
Before we go further, Mr. Chenoy, I would like you to tell our listeners what exactly we mean by skilling of an individual. What exactly you have in mind?
Skill is actually only a component of what we talk of the program that is being developed. I mentioned about the sector skill councils. Now each of these sector skill councils have mapped the job in their sector. So auto mechanic. Now auto mechanic needs knowledge about the automobile. He needs skill how to repair it, and needs an attitude that how he approaches his work. So the combination of skills, attitude and knowledge is known as the competency. So these 28 sector skill councils have created over 550 competency qualification packs for different roles. You see, if you take IT, now mostly IT say that this may be a good programmer, but he lacks attitude, that his soft skills are lacking. So the whole thing is that how do you address the three aspects of skill, the technical skill, the attitude and knowledge, and that's how we define a competency for any job role.
NSDC website mentions that the challenge of skilling and upskilling 50 crore people by 2022 will require both fundamental reforms in primary, secondary and higher education and enhance a significant enhancement of supplementary skill. How committed are the different stakeholders to achieve this objective?
If you review the whole process of skill development, there has been a concerted effort at the national and state level to align all the stakeholders to a common goal. Earlier there was the Prime Minister's National Council on Skill Development. It has now been transformed into the Cabinet Committee on Skill Development. There was the National Skill Development Coordination Board. It has now become the National Skill Development Agency, where we get all the 23 ministries in the states. The states were also fragmented, and in the last 2 to 3 years, each state has got a concerted action plan against the state skill mission. And if you see, on the 27th of December this year, the government announced the National Skills Qualification Framework. And that framework aims to actually bridge the gap between the vocational education stream and the education stream, allowing for vertical and horizontal mobility. So an ITI person can aspire to become an engineer. A plumber who can, through recognition of prior learning, can hope to get an equivalence to ITI exam. And if he gives another exam, he could actually go into mainstream education. So the National Skills Qualification Framework is going to achieve 2 or 3 different things. It's going to embed the vocational training in the education system and going to allow mobility across different systems, and most of all align the efforts of all the different ministries in all the different states to a common goal, where the Sector Skill Council actually sets the national occupation standard and going forward will also be part of the assessment and certification program.
You are from the private sector before you joined the NSDC, and you interact with ministries, as many as 17 ministries, government bodies and other councils. How easy has it been to bring everybody on the board?
It's been a very interesting journey. If we communicate that what we are trying to do is in the good of everybody, and if we communicate that, and if we actually act in a manner that we don't seem to be crossing anybody's turf but actually supporting the initiatives. So NSDC as an organization doesn't supplant government efforts or other ministry efforts. It only supports and works in conjunction or in cooperation with the government efforts to reach a common goal.
When there are graduates, dropouts, people in the urban areas and the rural areas, how does people reach out to NSDC? How do they upgrade their skills?
The choice that we had at that time that NSDC would be the training organization. We would have branches. We did not take that route. We said, let us try and get entrepreneurs who work at the grassroots. Let's say a Pratham or an Anudeep or some other people that you not even heard of, an ISEC or anybody, different things, a LaborNet, These people work in rural communities with carpenters, with setting up rural BPOs. Rural Shores is also a partner. So you can have a different, Gram Tarang works in the Naxalite area, ILNFS works across the country. So it is there that we have to do two types of things. One, we have to prepare people who are willing to take jobs in urban centers. Second, we have to work with rural youth who find rural opportunity in rural settings.
Several industrial bodies and corporates are also quite involved in this. What is the way forward for the
See, we have two types of corporates. There are corporates who are not engaged in this space. Then we had approved companies like Bharat Forge or Kalyani Group. HSBC has supported Mandeshi Foundation. We've had other corporates like Callens or smaller corporates that we've not heard of, Jai Bharat, Maruti, other entities. We have the Tata Motors, and we have other 39 corporates engaged in another program called Udan, which we are doing for the youth of Jammu and Kashmir. So corporates are getting interested. Every year we have a target of doing about 5 to 7 corporates, and we have about 15 corporates who are not in the skills space actually joining up as an NSDC partner. And going forward, we hope that this number expands exponentially.
Last year, the Standard Training Assessment and Reward program known as STAR was launched. Around 6 months since it's been. How has it been doing?
STAR program is a program to voluntarily attract young people to join a course that has the competency standards prescribed by the Sector Skill Council, get assessed by the Sector Skill Council by going to any training organization that offers that training program, and based on the completion of that program, they get a monetary reward. So it's very simple. Today we have 55,000 people enrolled for this program. We hope by March to have over 2 lakh people, and by September 2014, by end of this year, we hope to do 10 lakh people. And we've kept it so simple. We just said that missed call to 08800555555, and you can find out everything about this program and in the language that you want.
There is a saying in Hindi, "Hunar hai to qadar hai." So how far the skilling is actually likely to help unleash an entrepreneurship in India?
I think Hunar hai to qadar hai is one way of putting it, but Indians are very fatalistic. They believe that their future is written in their hands. The skilling program actually offers the opportunity for people to create the future with their hands, and shows you that if you have a skill, you can earn a decent livelihood, and you can also be recognized in society as a contributor to society. Whether it is looking at an elderly patient care, whether it's looking, a lot of people don't know. People think that a chef is a cook, but in some hotels, the chefs get a salary over 1 crore. Plumbers in India, and good plumbers, earn 50,000 to a lakh rupees a month. You take a very experienced driver who operates a heavy machinery which costs crores, can earn about 1 lakh to 2 lakhs a month.
Will you also popularize such successful stories?
Yes, we're supporting a reality show on Doordarshan called Hunarbaz, and that should be airing very soon, which talks about the ability of such people to earn and what needs to be done. We also popularize them by taking them for the World Skills Competition, which is the Olympics of Skills. For the first time this year, 3 young boys won a medallion of excellence in gems and jewelry, and in graphic design, and in IT. And we had taken a plumber last year who was from Orissa. And just by the fact that he got selected for the World Skills and went to England for the competition, a lot of people in his community wanted to become plumbers.
So India is likely to end up not only a superpower, but also as a country of 1 billion entrepreneurs.
If we have to do, there are only about 300 to 400 million jobs, in the next 10 years. So a lot of the jobs in that will be in the unorganized sector. So if we have to actually succeed as a nation, going forward, we have to organize the unorganized and create them into a group of entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dilip Chenoy.
You are listening to an interview with Dilip Chenoy, CEO, National Skill Development Corporation. The interviewer was S.K Narayanan, Senior Journalist. It came to you in the program Countrywide, produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website newsonair.nic.in. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.